Hi. Hi, yes, hello. Just please, just sit down, if you don't mind. Hi. Yes, hi. We just wanted to ask you a couple questions. We at Nintendo, we were thinking about making another Mario Kart, and because it's been so long since we've made one, we just wanted to have sit down and just ask you a couple questions about what maybe some fans would like and appreciate from the next Mario Kart. Wow, okay. That makes sense. What do you want to know? The big one for us is characters. We were unsure which characters we wanted to add into this new Mario Kart. So we were hoping you could tell us, if you could add any Mario character to Mario Kart, who would you want to add? Oh, wow. This is my chance. You mean if I tell you what my dream character is, they might get put in Mario Kart? Yes, that is exactly why we are holding this. Why don't you just tell us what it is? My dream character is Snowman. And just the idea of just being able to play as a snowman, it just gets my heart racing. Oh, you mean those snowmen from Banjo-Kazooie, right? The ones with the top hats who go, oh, ho, 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 and then the snow throw the snowman at you, snowballs at you. I don't know that we have actually the rights to that character, but we could make something similar. Oh, no, not that. Just a snowman. Wait, so you just mean putting like a regular snowman from just like the real world? That's what you want in Mario Kart? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Those snowman enemies from Mario 64, here, let me show you. These? They're my favorite. I always love them, and I would love to be able to play that Mario Kart. And I want a cow from Moo Moo Meadows, and I want a Pokey from Dry Dry Desert, and I want those coin frog things, and I want a Goomba, and I want Cataquack, and bring back Peach Beach so that you could be a Cataquack racer who gets tumbled over by Cataquacks on the course. Oh my god, that would be just so amazing. Okay, well, I guess I gotta write it down then. Well, I hope you enjoy that intro. That was definitely a little weird to record, just having to talk to myself like that. But, alright, so let's get right to it. Mario Kart World is out, and I'm a huge Mario Kart fan. I mean, if you can't tell by the 3-hour-long Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tier list video that's up right now. But something I noticed before the game even came out, just from initial trailers, is how good the roster for this game was shaking up to be. This was looking to be one of the best rosters for any Mario game ever made. And so, of course, through this video, I want to examine, is Mario Kart World the best roster for any Mario game ever made? One important clarification, because obviously, in case you can tell, this video is going to go through Mario games that have the best rosters and see if they stack up to World. But there's one very important thing that I have to get out of the way first, which is we're just talking about games like focused on the Mario series, right? Mario games. And the reason I have to make this distinction is because if we were just talking about games that had Mario in them rather than Mario focused games, I think you guys all know what the answer would be. It's Smash Ultimate. Period. Stop. End the video here. Nothing would come close to that. So for the sake of having an actual interesting video to talk about, I'm purely just going to be focusing on Mario games, not games that feature Mario in it. With that, let's get started. Let's look at some of the best Mario rosters to date before Mario Kart World. Mario Kart Wii is easily the best base game roster from any Mario Kart game. And you're excluding, potentially the game that this video's about. While looking at this roster, it may seem obvious that most of these characters are now fan favorites, Mario Kart Wii really helped make them that way in the first place. Funky Kong and Dry Bowser both made their Mario Kart debut in this game, and both would wind up to appear again in 8, even though it took Funky Kong way longer to appear in that game than Dry Bowser did. Dry Bones, King Boo, Toadette, Diddy Kong, Bowser Jr., Birdo, and the Babies also established themselves as strong recurring characters in the series, as Mario Kart Wii marked all of their second appearance in a Mario Kart game. Also, just a little fun fact, every character that was just listed, besides Dry Bones, made their first appearance in Double Dash. That means really, in many ways, Mario Kart Wii is just an improved version of Double Dash's roster, as the only characters not returning for it were Paratroopa and Petey Piranha. And Petey Piranha did make his return in Mario Kart 8 as well, but again, DLC. The game also marked Rosalina's first appearance in a Mario spin-off, which really is so odd. You would think with how popular Mario Galaxy was and how well revered it is that Rosalina would appear in more Wii spin-off games, but nope, she did not appear in a Wii Mario sports game, and she did not appear in a Wii Mario Party either, both waiting until the Wii U to make her first appearance in those, meaning that Mario Kart Wii was her first appearance in a Mario spin-off game. However, with all that being said, while Mario Kart Wii's roster did a lot for implementing new characters and making them staples of the series, I don't think we can call it the best roster in any Mario Kart game. It may feel odd to you that Mario Wonder even got a mention in this video. I mean, its roster is pretty small compared to every other game that it's going to be mentioned in this video. However, the reason I felt like it was important to mention is just because mainline Mario games, they tend to have very little character options to pick from. In fact, most mainline Mario games don't let you choose a character at all. You're usually just stuck with Mario. And even when they have started opening up character rosters more, it's just been Mario, Toad, Luigi, and Peach. So Mario Wonder going the extra mile to include Nabbit, Toadette, Daisy, and multiple colors of Yoshi is a neat idea. Really, my only problem with it is that I wish Yoshi and Nabbit had the ability to not be easy mode, because as someone whose favorite character in that list is Yoshi, but who doesn't want to play the easy mode, it just made me sad. So, just relegated me to Luigi, which, I mean, it's never a bad choice. But of course, if you're just looking objectively at character rosters, Mario Wonder will be the worst on this list, but I still thought it was worth mentioning, because this could be the Mario Kart Wii for the mainline Mario games, where we see a lot of these characters returning and becoming more staples in future mainline Mario games. I would like to see anybody argue that Super Mario Party Jamboree is not the best character roster of any Mario Party game. All the classic Mario game characters are here, and they even brought Birdo back thanks to her return in Superstars. And then they fill out the rest of the roster with many of the staple Mario enemies from the mainline games. Oh, except for one of them. How could they leave Dry Bones out? How could they do that to my boy? But aside from that absolutely colossal, unforgivable mistake, this roster is actually pretty good. And the best part about it is the goofy characters like Spike and Goomba, which I love that they're here, by the way. I mean, it's absolutely amazing that Goomba's in this game, especially because, like, it's one of those things where it's like, how does he even participate in, like, all these minigames and stuff? Like, how does he drive a car in the racetrack map? How does Goomba drive a car? It makes no sense, and it's absolutely hilarious, and I am completely here for it. I love it. But the best part is, they don't take any mainline Mario characters away to be able to make that work, you know? So that's really what makes this Mario one of the best Mario rosters ever. And I guess if there's any positive to Dry Bones not being in this game, is that I don't have to make the same decision that I have to make every time I play Mario Party 8, which is Boo or Dry Bones. Because, well, Dry Bones is not in this game, so it's just Boo every time. I'm really sorry about that, by the way, Dry Bones. It's just funny bit. Okay, so while those were some of the better, those games were a good baseline, we're getting into a completely different category now, which is crossovers. The only game where you can see if Waluigi or Metal Sonic are better at the javelin toss, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games pits two very iconic series together. After fighting each other in the 90s, Mario and Sonic have come together to compete in various Olympic events throughout the years. It's certainly cool to have such iconic characters clash. However, the problem with putting this on this list is that picks always feel really safe with these games. There's never really any, like, wow, this character is here. Like, I can't believe this character is here. That's great. There's no Goomba or Goomba equivalent like I was talking about with Jamboree. The reason these games are on this list is purely just the idea of the crossover, right? Of two franchises that you never really see together just being together. The roster for these games just breeds an interesting question when you're trying to rate them. What do you value? Do you value the originality of rosters, or do you value the uniqueness of characters being put into this different position? Personally, I wouldn't say these are the best rosters for any Mario game ever, but they're certainly a good one. It's hard to ignore how popular these two franchises are. And I guess they do have, evil Eggman, so can't really go wrong with that. With this game, I think Mario has had enough RPGs that he's starting to feel himself a little bit. He's, between all the Mario and Luigi games and the Paper Mario games, he wants to see if he can take on some of the more iconic RPG characters ever. Now, his competition of choice isn't exactly what you would expect, though, because you're playing RPG characters in dodgeball, and basketball, and hockey, and volleyball. That is exactly what happens in this game. Mario Sports Mix has plenty of your basic, standard Mario characters, with some out-of-left-field unlockables: White Mage, Black Mage, and Ninja from Final Fantasy. And to give the devs credit, even though having some basic RPG characters may seem, well, basic, the characters actually had a lot of style with their animation, and basically all of their moves incorporating magic in some way. Mage had a lot of, attacks, I guess animations, like involving light, which makes sense, and Black Mage had a lot of stuff involving lightning and fire. And also, by the way, a Black Mage, I think, has one of the coolest, layup animations. I think it's called a layup in the game. Basically, if you're going for a dunk, you can do a mix-up to press A to kind of, get around your opponent's attack, and Black Mage's is he just stops going from the hoop, he just stands there, lowers his staff down, and then the ball gets shot with lightning through the basket. It's really cool. The only problem with them is they did not know what to do with their ultimate moves, or whatever it's called, the super strike, whatever it is in these games, because Black Mage and White Mage both have the worst ones in the game. They're pretty bad. And then you have to set up a situation perfectly just to be able to try to get them off. But it's still really cool to have some characters with such flair added to the games to mix things up. Especially because they're not the only RPG characters who were actually added to this game. We also have Slime, Moogle, and Cacturn. Slime I know is from Dragon Quest. I don't really know where the other two are from. Maybe they're Dragon Quest? I don't really know. I've never really seen or heard of these characters anywhere else. But, they're cool additions. And something else that is really neat about this game is that there are a lot of alternate colors to be unlocked as well. And all the Final Fantasy characters, they also have some pretty fire alts, actually. You know, red, black mage, and white ninja. That's not a race thing. That's just literally the color of his outfit. And so, yeah, like, it's really cool. This game has, those characters add a lot of personality to this game. Here's one I bet many of you were surprised to see on this list. Fortune Street is actually a game I recently looked into acquiring as someone who is into board games a lot and who has a friend who's also really into Monopoly. I thought it could make for a fun game night. And aside from just being a more obscure game, this game also has the weirdest crossover of the three. Yes, more weird than Final Fantasy. Mario and Dragon Quest? It's certainly not the franchise crossover I was expecting for a Mario board game. Having never played a Dragon Quest game, I can't really judge like whether these rosters are good, right? Like, did they select good Dragon Quest characters? I have no idea. If there's any Dragon Quest fans watching in the comments, feel free to let me know, because I got no clue. However, with the Mario characters they did selected, I think they did a good job of, sort of like with the others, just making sure all the important Mario characters are here. And so, just, you know, with all three of these, rating them as highly as you do, it matters about how much do you care about these crossovers. And personally, I like that they're here, I like that they happen, but, you know, for a Mario game, I don't think we can really consider them the best. However, with Fortune Street, it is pretty funny how goofy it is to see Mario compete with a Monopoly empire with slime. It's very hilarious. And now we are getting to some of the, I guess, meat of the bone, some of the really like better Mario rosters to ever exist. However, these ones are weird to judge because all the three games I'm about to talk about are rosters that didn't start out good, or rather, they wouldn't have made this list if you were just looking at, you know, base game rosters. But when you look at these character rosters in totality, it's hard to argue against them being on this list. And so that's why these are grouped together. These are dripped rosters. Rosters who got fed more characters over time. I have actually never played a Mario Golf game in my life, and to be real, I have no real desire. I'm into a lot of different sports, but I do not care about golf at all. Golf is the one sport I cannot get into. I've gone into curling before, but I'm not able to do it with golf. However, just strictly looking at the character roster, this game's final roster is actually pretty solid. I don't know why it took so long for King Bob-omb to make an appearance in a Mario spin-off game, but now that he did, I want to see him to return. And the same goes for Charging Chuck. In fact, I'm a little bit disappointed that they're both not in Mario Kart World. I mean, just seeing King Bob-omb, it's just like, why is he not in everything now? Like, why isn't he included with that, like, big, scary group with, like, King Boo, you know? Like, I want him in more games now. Even if the updates to this game, you know, just looking online, seem to just retroactively add more classic characters like Koopa and Shy Guy, that just makes the goofy ones just stand out more, or just be better, really. Because like I was talking about with Jamboree, it means they're not taking up the spots of some classic characters, which really just lets them shine. And if you're wondering, you know, have they ever done, like, you know, why are you mentioning this, Alec? Like, have they ever included oddball characters over other characters? And listen, if you watch my Mario Kart 8 tier list video, you know how much I love the track selection in Mario Kart 7, but it's hard to argue with how bad that game's roster is. Yeah, you have Honeybee and Metal Mario, but you don't have Waluigi. How does that make any sense? Like, I don't know. Yet to me, as good as the Mario Golf Super Rush roster is, Mario Tennis Aces is by far the superior drip-fed sports game, and probably has it does have, not probably, the best roster for a sports game on the Switch. But Mario Tennis Aces does a good job of including all the classic characters you know and love, while also including its fair share of oddballs that get their chance to shine, such as Luma, Blooper, Fire Piranha, Kamek, Spike, and Chain Chomp. Kamek hasn't really appeared in a ton of Mario games that I can remember, Mario spin-off games. Blooper is making its first appearance since the Wii as a playable character. Luma is appearing by itself for the first time. Spike's returning from Mario Party 10, and Chain Chomp I don't think has ever been in a situation like this before, and it's absolutely hilarious. I'm so glad Chain Chomp is here. This Aces has by far one of the most diverse and well-rounded Mario game rosters I've ever seen. Full of its fair share of mainline Mario characters, goofy Mario characters that hopefully get a chance to come back, in the spotlight and return, to future Mario spin-off games like Chain Chomp. Kart 8 is one of the most difficult rosters to talk about on this video, and part of the reason why I saved it for last. The other part is because, Mario Kart World is a successor to this game. But looking at the original character roster for Mario Kart 8, it's bad. It's hard to really say it's one of the worst, just because of how few Mario characters were included in a lot of the older games. Like, if you look at Mario Party 2, there's 6 characters in that game. Mario Kart 64 has 8. So can't really say it's the worst, but in terms of recent Mario games, since they started adding more characters, so probably GameCube on, Mario Kart 8's base roster is definitely one of the worst. Fortunately, it was the problem that I mentioned a lot of games on this list didn't do, which is including goofy characters in replacement for some others. Mainly the Koopalings. The Koopalings took up 23% of the total roster, and they replaced many fan favorites. However, the thing with Mario Kart 8 is it's gotten so much content over the years. Just think about it, right? So you had the original DLC wave for the Wii U. And then you had, when the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Switch port, it's not really a Switch port, but whatever. When Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out for the Switch, they added some new characters there. And then finally, for the Booster Course Pass, they added even more characters. So it's absolute night and day between Mario Kart 8 when the game first came out on the Wii U, and 10 years later when the Booster Course Pass is done. Many of the characters that were noticeably absent from the base game roster, like King Boo, Funky Kong, Birdo, Dry Bones, were all back in the game, with some other fun additions like Wiggler making its Mario Kart 7 return, and Petey Piranha returning from Double Dash. Now, once all the DLC is done, when you look at Mario Kart 8's roster, you really get what is essentially an expanded version of Mario Kart Wii's roster. It took most of the Booster Course Pass to get there, but all the characters from Mario Kart Wii are in Mario Kart 8, leaving every other character, yes, including the Koopalings, as an expansion that makes this roster better than Wii. This was, very easily, the best Mario Kart roster before Mario Kart World came out. But does that mean its biggest competition is Mario Kart 8 in terms of best Mario game rosters? The answer, by the way, is no. I don't really care what this says about me. Mario Super Sluggers is one of my favorite games of all time. Completely genuinely. I think it is one of the most fun and intense games I've ever played. And the extremely dynamic roster is a large reason why. I also love baseball. I love baseball to death, so, I mean, that's certainly part of it too. But, the roster for this game is absolutely amazing. Characters you probably never ever expected to be in a Mario spin-off game are here. Mainly a bunch of DK characters. I mean, this game is basically like a Mario spin-off, Mario and DK spin-off. Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, Tiny Kong from Donkey Kong 64, Funky Kong, Baby Kong, as well as K. Rool and the Critters are all here in this game. Super Sluggers are also in the Sunshine era, which meant we got the great additions of the Piantas, who could hit home runs like nobody's business, and Toadsworth, whose pitches just defy the law of physics. There's also every Mario enemy that you can think of, I guess, except for Spike. Sorry, Spike. Is in this game. I mean, they even have Goomba and Paragoomba in here. How do they hold a baseball bat? It makes no sense, but they're here, and it's amazing. I haven't even mentioned Wiggler, King Boo, and Petey Piranha are also in this game. This game really just left no room for doubt. If you could think of a relevant Mario character in this era, it was here in Mario Super Sluggers. And yes, that includes the babies. I know the babies aren't that popular, but Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, Baby DK, they're all in this game. And I haven't even mentioned something that makes the roster so much more expansive. Alternate colors. If you thought this roster wasn't expansive enough, so many characters received alternate colors. And you can have, it's not like, oh, you change one color and you can only have one Yoshi. No. There's 7 different Yoshis, each with their own different stats. And Yoshi's not the only one who got one. There's alternate color Yoshis, Shy Guys, Magic Koopas, Dry Bones, Critters, Toads, Piantas, Hammer Bros. Although it's really, I mean, it's separated a little bit. Hammer Bro, Fire Bro, Boomerang Bro. And there's also Koopas and Paratroopas, even though that's just red and green shells. And like I just mentioned, these alternates aren't just for fun. They have different stats. Every single one. Like, a lot of the times what I'll go for when I select alternates, I'll look for the green ones. You know why? They have slightly higher speed, which means you think to be better in the field, right? So it's like you could build a team of just like 7 different Yoshis. You can decide which Shy Guy works best for the team that you want. I mean, I usually go for speed or, best hitting ability, but you could do best pitcher too, right? So the alternate colors allow for so much flexibility, and that hasn't even gone into the Miis. Because the thing with the Miis is that whatever color Mii your Mii you selected in the Mii channel, they will have chemistry with colors that match that. And chemistry is basically characters that get along, and they'll make like better plays together. They'll like work better in the field. So that's how you can like better link teams together. Is if you have a Mii that's green, you could connect that to green Shy Guy, which you can connect to Luigi, who doesn't have a lot of chemistry in this game for some reason. So there's just so many options in how you can go about building a team in this game. It is absolutely amazing. Now, there are 2 flaws with this character roster. Number 1, Rosalina. So, Mario Galaxy came out like a little more than half a year before this game did. So, they obviously, I don't think they really had Rosalina adding in mind when they were building this game, and Mario Galaxy wasn't even out yet. But still, I feel it's important to recognize that Mario, the Wii really should have been like the Galaxy age of Mario. You know how like a lot of spin-offs they go after what the newest 3D Mario is, like how, you know, Pauline is appearing and everything now. So it's a little bit of an odd choice to like not even think about including Rosalina into this game. But also the Nokis. I don't think I mentioned them in the alternate color section, but they do have alternate colors technically, but they're a weird addition. And that's part of the Sunshine Age characters, but I gotta be real, the only reason I remember that they exist as characters is because they are in this game. To me, they are just very, very forgettable, and to me, like, just looking back on this game now, it's sort of like, why are they here? But other than that, this roster is just absolutely amazing. And before Mario Kart World, to me it wasn't even close. This was the best Mario game roster in any game ever. But now, with Mario World coming out, let's try and answer the question, is Mario Kart World's roster better than Mario Super Sluggers? This is a really tough question to answer, actually, because looking at their rosters, there's so much overlap between the two. It just shows how good of a job they did with both these games in their character rosters. But I think I have to give Mario Kart World a slight edge. But to me, these are easily the top two, and nothing else really comes super close. But the thing with Mario Kart World, you know, compared to Mario Super Sluggers, is if you look at Mario Super Sluggers, the characters that they have that Mario Kart World doesn't are the Kongs. And the Nokis, which I just talked about as being like a negative asset in terms of character roster already. So, you know, the fact that Mario Kart World doesn't have the Nokis is a plus. But the real big difference between Mario Super Sluggers and Mario Kart World is the Kongs. I know Diddy Kong and Funky Kong being left out, right? I don't believe they're in Mario Kart World. I know that's, you know, will be upsetting for some people, but when you're talking about Tiny Kong, Dixie Kong, I like Dixie Kong, but still, Tiny Kong, Dixie Kong, Baby Kong, K. Rool, and the Critters versus all these Mario enemies that they have in Mario Kart World, because that's basically what you're comparing. Basically everything else is the same, except for Mario Kart World has Rosalina. You know, it's sort of what do you value more, and I think for a Mario game, the Mario enemies are just more relevant than the Donkey Kong characters. So, like, just to be real, there's a lot of just added hilarity that comes with those characters being in this game that I really like. I know I joked about it being stupid in the intro to this video, but I honestly really like it. You know, having, okay, Cow kind of just is what it is, but Goomba being here is great. Nabbit is actually great to see in here. But Wiggler being back, oh, Wiggler's already in Mario Super Sluggers. But Penguin, Dolphin, I don't know, like, I'm looking at this roster, right? And I'll have to put the roster I'm looking at on screen now for Mario Kart World. And so many of these characters overlap. I was going to say, oh, Wiggler is a great addition for Mario Kart World. Oh, wait, he's in Mario Super Sluggers. Hammerbell was already in Super Sluggers. Monty Mole, already in Super Sluggers. So the reality is this is really, really, really close. But yeah, I still feel like I have to give just a slight edge to Mario Kart World. You know, they have Rosalina, they have Pauline, they have Charging Chuck is back, Fishbone, Goomba's already in Super Sluggers. See, this is the problem. Nabbit being here, though, Nabbit's actually a great under the radar addition. I think Lakitu is in this game, is not in Super Sluggers. And yeah, to me, those characters, they're just kind of more relevant to Mario than Tiny Kong and the Critters. But it's so close, because like I was saying, so many of the highlights to me of the Mario Kart World roster are in Mario Super Sluggers already. So it's really, you know, it's like pulling hairs to decide which one is better. So yeah, that's it. By a slight edge, I'm going to give the Mario Kart World the Best Mario Roster Award. And of course, like I was talking about in the intro, Mario Kart World is here Smash Ultimate, all the way, you know, you can't see how high Smash Ultimate is. So it's gonna have to settle for number 2 there. But Mario Kart World is really great. I actually don't have my Switch 2 yet. I'm hoping to get one soon. I'm really looking forward to playing this game. And yeah, the roster is really amazing. I really like all the you know, goofy little enemies that they added. I think it makes for a really cool and fun addition. It's one I never really thought we would have gotten. But yeah, really, just looking at this roster again, I'm really reminded again just how much Mario Super Sluggers how good Mario Super Sluggers roster is. Because I'm not kidding when I was looking at Mario Kart World roster and I'm saying I think this one's better and looking for standouts, I just kept saying, oh, that's in Super Sluggers, that's in Super Sluggers, that's in Super Sluggers, that's in Super Sluggers. But yeah, Cow, Fishbone, Charging Chuck, Rosalina, Pauline, Penguin, Piranha Plant, Plant Gang's back, Nabbit, Lakitu. Those are all characters that were not in Mario Super Sluggers, and I think that works against it. Spike was not in Mario Super Sluggers. I talked about that. And so I think those are all characters that are better. And yeah, Cataquack too. Playing as Cataquack on Peach Beach, I'm really looking forward to doing that. Just the idea that's so goofy, but I love it. And so, to me, that level of goofiness and just what those characters do for this game is more than, just by a little bit, more than the Kongs in Mario Super Sluggers. But these games, they're both amazing. And so, yeah, I would recommend if you can get a Wii, play Mario Super Sluggers. If you get a Switch too, play Mario Kart World too. And so, yes. And so, with that all being said, I just want to thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for watching this far. Thank you for supporting my channel. And yeah, if you like this, I do plan on having some other Mario Kart World videos up. But I have to get the game first, you know, right? Like, in order to do a Mario Kart World track tier list, I think I have to actually play the game first. So those might be for a little bit, but I do, again, I love Mario Kart, so I do want to do a track tier list. I might do a games tier list, and just plenty more Mario Kart content to come. I just have to get the game first. But so, if you want to see more, like, subscribe, look at this graph, you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. And I'm Alec, and this has been awesome. Peace out.